Man, I think we kind of lucked out. Okay, I figured out what model this is. This is a C200. It's a 90, but the model was called the C200. Well, it's like 64, 63, 64, 65, 66, something like that. I think this is probably a 64, but that's a little vague. But it is a C200. I found the stamping on the frame. So I went looking for parts for it on eBay. And I think I got really lucky. But we'll see. There was a guy down in Oklahoma, Skokie, that had not only the fender, but the side cover. But he actually had, it was a set. So we got that snazzy looking front fender. And both side covers, which is not a bad deal because we're missing the one on the other side, and this one has got quite a scratch in it. Well, replace them both. Now the question comes up whether these are original Honda or they could be a reproduction. Not that it matters, you know, for the uses. You know, we're not fanatic collectors on these kind of things. We just try to make them usable. And this whole set was $150. But like I said, I was just tickled to find them. Well, particularly the fender. You know, the side covers, they turn up. But this is the only fender I saw listed. So, like I say, there are reproductions being made, but usually they're out of Thailand or Taiwan, and it's going to cost you as much for shipping as it is for the part. I run into that all the time. You know, it's funny, I can't quite figure out why it is that you can order a part out of China, and the shipping is dirt cheap or free. But if you order a part out of Taiwan, which China claims is part of China, it's going to cost you as much as the part is worth to ship it. So I don't know how that, you know, international shipping works. It's always been a bit of a bafflement. I just know that stuff out of China you can get really cheap. You just got to be able to wait for it. Okay, like I said, there's a question about, yeah, the guy didn't know either, really, if these parts are original Honda or if they are reproductions. Now, this headlight cowling is actually real Honda because it's got the HM stamped in the plastic. But he couldn't find the mark on the fender. So, you know, they're the same red. And like I say, for our uses, it really wouldn't matter. You know, it's got that classy swoopy end to her. See if he got marks on them. They don't have the knob, but there's a guy who's got the original knobs for sale. You know, it's as simply as bolt. Yeah, they could be a reproduction. It'd be something that'd be easy to reproduce, and though you don't see many of them here, you know, worldwide, they're very popular. Now what this was, Like I say, it's a 90 cc, but I see references to them all the time as a baby dream. You know, because like, well, that big purple monster back there is the Dream, a 300 Dream. And this one they refer to as the Baby Dream, because it's got the same swoopy lines, you know. But this was designed, yeah, and there is no HM in this. But like I say, for us it really wouldn't matter one way or the other. If I can get the whole set for 150, that's fine. But they were designed as a touring bike. Now, okay, a 90cc touring bike sounds kind of weird, you know, but the top speed is like 50 miles an hour. But I was reading a report or review on from a motorcycle magazine from 1964. And so it said, okay, they're faster than the 50 in acceleration, but top speed is about the same as what the 50 was. But they'll just get there faster. But they will do it and get 175 miles to the gallon. Now, that makes it a pretty nice touring bike if you aren't in a hurry. You know, if you're just going to take your time, cruise around, that'd be a cheap running machine. And there's a difference, you know, when people are familiar with the little Honda motors. Now, most of those are overhead cam. These used, it's a cast iron head, not aluminum, and a cast iron cylinder. The others use a cast iron liner and an aluminum cylinder. But these are a push rod motor instead of having an overhead cam, which makes them a lot simpler. Actually, a lot more dependable, let's say, because like say on that little 100 where the cam chain came off, you know, that can happen. And push rods are just make a simpler motor. Actually, I like a push rod motor rather than dealing with, it's so easy. Like now, if you're going to pull the top end off, you just pull the top end off. It's no big deal because you're not dealing with a cam chain. You just got a couple of push rods. So it doesn't make for a simpler motor. So, if we can get her together, like I said, production, you know, if we have to, you can get a reproduction seat for like $100. Or we can recover the seat for like maybe 30, 40. I'm not opposed to reproductions if they're well-made reproductions. Though if you get this cheap knockoff, well, that's not good because you want a quality thing. But if the quality is there, for me, I don't really particularly care if it's the original part. You know, original is right if you're a fanatic collector and this is a showroom quality thing, but we're putting these things together to drive them, you know. So it's nice to have all the parts, but like say the exhaust system on this, now if you buy an original exhaust system, it's about $500 just for the exhaust. Well, you can get an aftermarket one for like $100. Now that makes a lot more sense. You know, luckily this one has a good exhaust. The one thing that I'm still going to have to find for this, which might take a little bit of searching, but I thought the sprinter was going to be difficult, and it really wasn't. These had an enclosed rear chain. You know, it had the two covers on the top and bottom that went on, so that the chain was protected from the elements. Now, a lot of those got taken off, like even that Dream had that same setup. But it's a nuisance when you're working on the chain. You know, so a lot of times people take them off and they never put them back on and they get lost. And you don't see that, you know, that kind of just went by the wayside. But it's nice, it just makes it a little harder to maintain. But I'm going to have to search them out, you know, the two halves. And the problem is to get one that's in good shape because a lot of times, like if somebody threw a chain, they can bend them up. They can be rusty, you know, they can get, you know, I know there is one half that's on eBay now, but it looks like it's in pretty rough shape. But the bike will work fine without it. You know, that's why, like I say, a lot of them got left off. But this will really snazzy her up. And like I said, we got the kickstarter for it, but I see he's just got stuck on here. It isn't tightened down. But I gotta figure out, you know, normally Honda, like say where a shaft like this is, they'll have a dot that should line up with the seam in it. You know, so we'll have to see if we can't clean that end up enough to figure out, because I'm not really sure at which angle this thing is supposed to be. You know, if it's supposed to be back ways, or I don't know. You know, that's something like I'll have to figure out, or look at pictures if I can maybe get it from that. Because there's quite a group of people that are really into these baby dreams. And they're still being used, like I say, overseas. It's good, economical, dependable transportation. So, you know, if you don't have to go tearing down an interstate highway, it's plenty good. I will have to keep my eyes open though, like for touring now. I did see that they used to make a luggage rack that would bolt on. Well, it'd be kind of nice to have the luggage rack for it, though I can't imagine even driving one of these with a passenger on behind. But this is the kind of thing that, you know, like over in Vietnam or something, they'll have 6 people on this thing, you know, and dragging the sidecar at the same time. So, you know, she could handle 2, probably limit your top speed to maybe 45 or something. You know. And she'd be hell on hills. But cool bike. Now that 175, he's had that out, been driving that. No, and that's a runner. But this one now, we got to see if we can get the kicker going and see what kind of shape he's in. But like I say, if a guy has to do the top end on this, there's no big deal, because you're not dealing with the cam chain. So, and it does turn over, but like I say, it doesn't have it on there yet. But she spins, so that's a start. But I think that shaft might be a little boogery, which is maybe why the kicker was off when he got it. But we can get it to fit on there some way or another. Or like I think that 175, it looks to me like somebody welded the kicker on. That used to happen. You know, but no, you can get parts for this kind of thing. They aren't expensive, and they're really common, though, like I say, the problem is a lot of them have to come from, like, Thailand or Taiwan. She'd be a cool bike, though. She'd be a hell of a cruiser. But let's take a tour, like that little back road run I made from Little Yellowstone to Lisbon. That'd be fun on one of these. You just couldn't be in a hurry. Then you couldn't load her with too much junk, but you could get a tank bag on her. And that's, you know, because I'm really not fond of, you know, like luggage racks and people strap crap on. Keep the stuff down low, keep it in front of it if you can. Tank bag is always the way to go. You know, you see people piling crap up on back, you're just asking for trouble. I used to hate it when bikes would come in. That, you know, people driving through and they had a problem, they had to work on their bike, and they'd have them things so loaded down that it really wasn't safe to even test drive them. You know, we'd have to have them strip all that luggage crap off so that we could dare drive the thing. You know, because it makes it, you get stuff up high, a lot of weight up high, they get really unstable. I mean, I'm talking even on the full dress Harleys. You know, they put them tour packs on that are way up, and then they load up way more junk than they should. If you're going to load a bike, load her low or keep it in front of you. But that's a good start. Now we'll just see how lucky I am with that chain case.